Hello and welcome back to the Elder Church campaign. I'm your host and GM, as always, Nineveh, and with me are Kathea and Soinnarios.
Hello, this is Kathea.
So Soinnarios.
All right, this is episode 24, session 23. We are now almost a year into this.
No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah. The strain is not showing on your GM/host at all.
Not that we can see.
Yeah.
Yes, in this all audio format, it is invisible. All right, so last time we did sea season things.
Trolls. We met trolls and survived.
Crab down.
Yeah.
Yes, Crab Town happened.
Fishing for glass.
You went fishing in Crab Town and you got to keep your face.
I've never had that. But it was code there.
No.
There's a whole story in Troll Pack where the Linkermai or the Asaris or whoever's writing it, the account is like, just, we went fishing and my assistant, the idiot, opened a jar and it melted half his face off, but we managed to patch it up, so no big deal. Like, and then if you keep reading, the account continues on through the events that happen, and you get the impression that the idiot assistant is the only reason that the narrator survived their encounter with the sea monster. But, I'm not sure the narrator understood that.
We got to meet Sir Scissor, who's important, I think.
It's true.
Congrats.
One thing I like about the early RuneQuest.
It wasn't.
It's true. There was Krishnak. One of the things I like about early RuneQuest supplements and even modern supplements is that there's always subtext. They will tell you how things are and then immediately introduce characters that break those rules. They tell you Yamelio is a cult for men, and then you immediately meet in either setting that has Yamelians, right? Women that are initiates to Yamelio. They'll tell you the stories you have to actually think about, and that's true for like Batarian, the journeys stuff for Prax. Like there's always subtext, and you have to think about what he's telling you because he's not necessarily getting everything right or understanding everything he's seeing. And I've always liked that about RuneQuest. There's always this sense that there's more going on, and not everything you're getting is accurate, and so you actually have to think and engage with what you're looking at instead of just having it dictated out. So yeah. Anyways,
you're
that's an aside though.
Perspective.
Right. That's just an aside though. So let's move. You have recovered from all your fire season or sea season nonsense. You are now moving on to your fire season nonsense, which is a new and exciting brand of nonsense that I, for one, am interested to see. So on the one hand, Soinnarios, you are wanting to propose a Harvest Queen contest, correct?
Yes.
Right, which will actually happen. Yes, this will actually happen in Earth season, but it's sort of a big deal. It's kind of like prom. You don't plan it the week before, so you have to do some pre-planning on this, and you have to get
away married.
Well, it's kind of like prom. Not just like prom, or actually is prom. Just kind of like prom.
Yeah. I got that.
The theme is not
prom.
The sea.
Right, and prom was a long time ago for all of us. My memory wanes. Who knows how it works?
I did not help plan or prep prom.
Same. I did go to it, but I didn't do any of the work for it.
So
my sophomore, junior years.
Nice. Despite being the most miserably antisocial human being in my high school, I ended up attending prom 4 times. So
wow. Good job.
Yeah, I'm a real go-getter. So in any event, there's a lot of preparation and planning that needs to be done for a Harvest Queen festival. So you have to decide on the competitions. You have to get approval because this is a ritual that draws on temple and clan resources and will affect temple and clan harvest. So obviously you can't just without the backing of the temple and the backing of the clan, it's just you making men perform silly tricks. It's not really a Harvest Queen ritual, you need a little oomph behind it. So you need support for it. That's kind of a thing.
Because part of this is my personal goal of maybe getting a year marriage out of it and a child.
Yeah, and then also you will get a year marriage out of it if it goes through. That's how the ritual works. You may or may not get a kid out of it. That's up to you.
That's actually more of I think for the child's success in later life, spiritually and divinely or whatever, I think coming from a suitable marriage backed by this might be better than just some rando.
Yes, you will produce a superior child.
And then that's part of the goal. And then, but also helping the clan get its harvest going well again after the last year or two.
No, it makes sense. And on the other side of this, Kathea is wanting to invest more heavily in her shrine out at the near end of the Indigo Mountains. Is this correct? I hope it's correct because that's what I did the planning for.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I will say I would help my cousin as much as she needs me in the area, but hopefully I can do both.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
And I would also make sure our cohort of NPC supporters help her with the organization because she probably needs more like people going different directions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You'll be drawing mostly on cult resources for this for you. So most of your cohort should be available, yes, to help. So
Right.
to cover the season, as fire season goes on, this is the season of war and raiding and all that stuff. You do hear reports coming out of the Maboder tribal territories over time. These are things you'll learn over the course of the season, but I just want to cover them once right up front. So there is a lot of warfare going on, obviously, and it's hard right now. Outside observers, by the end of the season, the conclusion is we can't tell who's winning. It's hard to know, in part because Jones, the general that you guys saw and declined to sign up with, isn't fighting a formal line of battle like engagement. He's broken up his groups into smaller groups and is fighting a guerrilla war, essentially. Not that you have that term. So he's pretty much turned his guys into little raiding packs that are raiding around and disrupting the Tomori, and the Tomori are doing the same back. And it's just a question of who can win that. But he hasn't just drawn up his army and like marched, because that's how would that work? You know, there are people. Well, if you do that, the Tomori will just scatter, and then they'll just come back when you've gone. So that seems to be the consensus. Is that it's hard to tell what's happening, but there's definitely a lot of fighting happening. You've heard some rumors that many of the Maboder survivors have joined him. You've heard some rumors that that's not really true. You've heard some rumors that he's hiring Humakti mercenaries to supplement his numbers. You've heard some rumors that hasn't really been necessary. It's just there's a lot of back and forth, but the key takeaways are that there is a lot of violence happening, and that right now no one seems to have the upper hand.
Well, it's something we're interested in. We'll keep track of, but I'm sure it's all kind of background for us.
It is right now, yeah, for you guys. You're busy with other stuff. There's a war happening nearby, but you are not actually involved in it. So, and that's fine. It's local news. It's stuff you're going to be hearing about. So past that, though, we'll just go ahead and pick up. We're going to start, and I know it's going to be a little bit, hopefully, Kathea, you will just enjoy watching for a little bit, but we're going to start with Soinnarios, and I don't want to flip back and forth a lot because these all have a lot of steps and things and decisions. So we're going to run for about an hour.
That's fine.
A little shy with Soinnarios, then we'll come back to you, essentially. And we'll try to get these both done.
Okay.
If they're not, we'll stop wherever they are and we'll next session. So
yeah, take as long as you need to get Soinnarios done.
Cool. All right. So starting out, Soinnarios, it is fire season. It is warm outside. It is getting drier and hotter day by day. You have a lot of cloudless days. You know how fire season works in Starter. But eventually this idea is going to come to you, and you know that you're going to have to get approval of various parties in order to do this thing that you want to do. So the question I have is, who do you approach first? I believe from that sigh, I already know who you think you need to go talk to and that you don't want to do it.
How many things I just need to get out of the way? And go talk with my mother, Kel Meleth. Yeah. Yep. Go talk to her because she's the new.
Yes, and once again, these
High and
names are
mighty
designed for an
Ronaldo
email
priestess.
campaign. So
Just fine when I was typing
it's
it.
true. She is. All right. So you'll have to. Right, exactly. Yeah, they were chosen for email, and they were easier to handle when they were email names. So yeah, you'll need to meet with your mother. And honestly, that's a reasonable decision because without the support of the temple, it will be very hard to get the clan ring on board. Also, your mother is a member of the clan ring. So
Wait, did I know that?
yes, it would have happened at the same time that she ascended to the priestesshood.
Okay.
So she represents Ezrola on the council. She represents the grain goddess. Not your grain goddess, but the primary one, the wheat goddess. Okay. So yeah. So that did happen last year, but it hasn't come up you haven't been involved too much with the clan in that ring in that time period. She would have been on the outer ring before, so like an influential person, but now she's on the inner ring. So an actual official leader type. All right. So you meet with her. Where do you do this? Do you go to the temple, to her home?
I think I'll go to the temple because I feel like she delineates and wants things to look appropriate or proper.
Nice.
So if I tried it at her house, that would not go as well.
Yeah, and she might also feel like she has more discretion to do what she pleases if it's a more informal or personal request in her own home. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you meet with your mother at the temple. Yeah. All right. Roll. The first thing you need to do for me is just roll insight, just to get a general sense of what she's thinking when you meet her. It's always good to try and read her a little bit because she is pretty close.
I rolled a 58, and that is a success.
Nice. Okay. She actually, when you show up at the temple, clearly wanting something, because that's why you're here, right? That's why you go to the temple. You get the sense that she let her mask slip for a moment, like she didn't mean to be so unguarded, but you also immediately get the sense that she knows why you're here, like why you chose to come to see her at the temple, and it amuses her.
She should be proud.
She's not displeased. She just thinks it's funny.
I took my insight check.
Yeah, you get to check insight. Good job. So she receives you, and she's been directing some initiates around the temple to do things, and she's kind of supervising them, but she'll like take her leave of them to come talk to you in a different room. So she leaves them to their tasks and comes over to you.
And I make sure to address her with the proper honorifics for her station now.
Right, so Earth Priestess and stuff like that. Not mom,
yep,
but Priestess. Okay, so she meets you, and she'll ask about, what it is she can do.
Well, I'm going to lay out that I had an idea while tending the barley, the hides entrusted to me. That one, to help the clan with the harvest, as well as to maybe atone a little bit for my part in all the lunar ingress into our clan. Mm-hmm. Put myself out there as a harvest queen and have and maybe set up a harvest queen festival in Earth season to help strengthen or at least rebuild the clan's agricultural and ties to Arnalda and the Earth and all that.
Okay. She considers that for a little bit, and she's interested. She thinks that something like that would be good for the clan, given some of the difficulties of the last year or two. But her immediate counterpoint to this is that really getting to play the Harvest Queen isn't a punishment. It's not really an atonement, right? Like you get a husband and land and gifts and other things, or attention, focus on you,
Yeah. Well, I didn't know who all would be willing to do that. The other thing is I do have my ties and progress with Arnalda, as well as one of her granddaughters. But also, I don't stand to gain as much since I've already had some land already. So it wouldn't be like I was... And plus, me with my lifestyle, maybe having to be settled a bit for a year would be restraining enough that the temple, the clan ring, or other interested parties, as I look at her, might be satisfied with that a little bit.
Right. She kind of waves off what you're saying. She's like, no. She's like, I think it's a good idea. I just don't like that tack. We should pitch it differently when we go before the council.
That's fair.
But she tells you she thinks it has merit, and she would be interested in supporting that, especially since it would be good for her to do so.
Well, I think it'd be, and I'm not saying this, but I'm thinking this. I think it'd be, my face probably conveys it. It's tough for me to say I'm probably one of our more eligible Arnaldans to put forth in this place. Like, even if I'm thinking it.
Right. No, I get you. You definitely are. But yeah, no, she's like she said, she's cool with it. She'll back it. She's not going to require you to really push her on it too much. She would love to see you get married, and she does agree that something needs to be done to help catch the clan up a little bit, since the last couple of years have been a bit rough.
And that wasn't my fault. That was the stars aligning.
Yeah, that was my cousin's fault.
She rolled those dice.
Yeah. Just immediately.
Well, Not Kathea, just your dice. They're made for headshots, not for
Yeah, it's
omens.
tough. All right. So she agrees
What's
to
one
help
down?
you back this. So the next move would be that the temple needs to make some preliminary preparations just to kind of scope out what needs to be done a little bit. Because these aren't. Some
Okay.
places do these every year. Some places do them only rarely. There are different. There's no like Harvest Queen rituals are just an Arnaldan thing, but clans and tribes deal with them differently on an individual level. And so you guys don't always perform one. It's not a yearly tradition for you. It's a thing that the temple can do if it feels like it. So she'll have to see, if they have the relevant, items, costuming, stuff like that, and what will need to be repaired, commissioned, or replaced. But while she's doing that, she tells you to consider one, you're gonna have to help her with that. So you can spend some time in the temple digging around
Of
in old
course.
storage rooms. And then two, you should probably think a little bit about how you want to approach this with the council. Because while she'll be there, she's on the council, on the ring. While she'll be there and she supports the idea, like you will be the one delivering it.
Yeah, so I might get Mardina to help me make a PowerPoint presentation.
Mardina, quickly. Being a linker Maya is truly awful.
And well, it's either her or Yenor, and Yenor's going to be.
Yenor would be more fun. Yeah, I love him. I love Yenor. I like Mardina
Well,
too, though. What was he actually for?
No, well, I was thinking at some point, they think you're going to go horrible or go great. It's kind of just planting the idea in people, but also maybe bouncing the ideas off of him of how to present this to the ring, because he might have an idea of what certain people want to hear, certain people want.
Oh God, you're gonna
He
ask Yenor
seems-
his opinion on how to navigate this political situation.
I don't.
Yes, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I'm not there. Do it.
Or more like, well, you might know what certain people want or like. I'm not saying I'm going to bribe people,
Right.
but how to appeal to people.
No, that's fair. You can
Since-
find him. He's usually around somewhere. On the Tula. You have, even after you help your mother and you organize this stuff, you still have a couple of days because she'll have to go to the ring and explain to them that they, ask them to meet with you and all that stuff, which she will handle as a ring matter. So you have to present the idea, but she'll actually go and ask them like, hey, when can we get together and talk about this? So you have a few days
I figured
here.
in searching for things, I might talk about my mother about maybe changing the tact from, I think, helping the clan, kind of the, I don't know if it would be kind of a mini hero quest ish or not, but help influence the harvest as well as promote the stature of us as a clan. Take away the atonement part. So
Yes. That would be wise. Yeah. Yeah, it is a sort of hero quest. It's a magical ritual that sort of allows you to stand in for Arnalda or a grain goddess while the men perform various feats from the wooing of Arnalda to compete for you. So it is a sort of hero quest, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's I guess in the old terminology, which is probably really outdated now, it's a this world hero quest. So you're repeating mythic deeds, but not entering the god time. You can do it as an otherworld hero quest. It becomes much more dangerous. I don't recommend that at this juncture. I also probably can't
Not
stop
yet.
you.
No.
Cool. Yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
stopping
she would
myself.
be right. So yeah, she would more approve of that. Like the atonement argument is poor, but the rest of it is sound, and so you should be good on that. Do you seek out Yenor?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
committing to it.
Okay, cool. So you find him. You look around for him for a while, and he is kind of sitting up in a tree, like on a branch, right? And he's playing music and drinking wine, which seems to be a thing with him.
Call up to him.
Yeah, he would be
And ask
not
for his
high
view.
up, but higher than you. Yeah. Okay. He laughs like good naturedly and tells you that honestly, in fire season, all he can really see are the leaves.
I give him a polite chuckle. Can you give me insight or thoughts on some of the ring members, the inner ring? And I kind of let him know my thoughts since he's a part of our cohort and we grew up together, even though he's Yenor.
Or Yenor. Okay. So you ask him. So would you say your approach to this is charm or orate, or intimidate. Beat him with a switch until he tells you things.
I want to do charm, but that seems like a bad idea.
I mean, charm isn't just seduction. It means
Yeah,
warmth, human kindness, yeah, that sort of thing. So it's appropriate, and you are being nice to him, right? Like, you're telling him what you think. You're like explaining why you need things. Like, I mean, that's why I asked, because it sounded like you might have been trying for that tact.
yeah. And I'm just the reality of knowing I'm not as charming as I am or orating.
Right.
So what I might do is roll my clan loyalty to help try to boost it.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Well, a 53 is a success on my clan loyalty.
Okay, so that'll add a 20 to your charm roll then. And
I
you
feel
may put a check
better
in
about
your
a 49
loyalty.
than I did a 29.
That's fair. And you
I
may
will.
put a check in your loyalty, yeah.
Well, then I roll 85 on my charm.
Oh, so it doesn't even matter, huh? Okay. Cool. Let's see. He's gonna do a little of his own thing here. Interesting, very interesting. Okay. So he listens to what you have to say, and when you ask him what he thinks about it for a little bit. He plucks out a few notes on his barbiton lyre, and then he says, I've often found that getting people drunk makes them much easier to talk to. Or just being drunk. And it is easier to just get yourself drunk than to get all of them drunk, I think.
I believe you would know that.
Hey, at least you didn't fumble, right?
Yep.
Then you would have gotten
Wait,
incorrect
you know what, that was a
useful
great idea.
information. So he does seem interested in what you're doing, but he doesn't appear to be interested in being helpful about it, which is not uncommon. Urmali are not usually useful. They are usually useless, and very occasionally utterly disastrous, and very occasionally utterly indispensable.
I will ask him that if the clan ends up doing this, maybe keeping an eye out and helping as need be, so I don't get paired off with a bad apple or anything.
He gives you a sort of nod. He goes, yeah, sure. As much as I can do anything, I suppose.
See? Well, on that note, I'm going to go dig out costumes.
Good luck. So yeah, you have to find, it's regalia, right? Like, costume sounds like Red and Fairy. Like, items that that are used to ritually represent you standing in that role for the specific purpose, which would include like costuming and props. But yeah, so you can find some of the stuff. Other stuff, like I said, will be in need of repair. These are not major plot points. You have money. The temple has money. These are not like magical items per se. So these are things that can be fixed or replaced as needed. It's just something that has to happen.
Okay.
So you'll have to spend some time on that. Your mother will have to arrange a meeting with the clan ring. You have time to talk to Ynor. After a couple of days, you'll have time to meet with the clan ring. So after those couple of days pass, you'll have your chance here to meet with the clan ring. So you'll go to the clan hall, right? Which is where the clan ring happens, does its stuff.
Yes.
And then you'll meet with the ring. So the inner ring, you've met most of these people before or interacted with them. The chieftain, our Sable Fur is here. She's your your clan chieftain. She should just be an Arnaldan cultist. Your tribal leader is a Marangor, but your actual clan leader is just an Arnaldan. Your chief Thane is here. You've met him during the war. He probably won't have a lot of opinions on this because it's not relevant to like raiding or defense. So you can kind of write him off pretty easily as long as you don't offend him. The rest of your ring is structured around Ernalda instead of Orlanth. So like Orlanth is always your chief Fane position. He's always the senior most assistant to the chieftain as the foremost of Ernalda's husbands, right? But there are others here. So the ring is like an Arnaldan chieftain followed by an Orlanthi Thane, like Chief Thane. And then you have a mix of other husbands and then daughters or sisters, like other earth goddesses. So you're in the Odela spot. Your clan great hunter is a man named Vandad. He's a little older guy who worships the bear god. In the Yomelio position is a man named Arstanos, who is your representative for Yomelio. The last three in the Marangor spot is your aunt, Yagana. In the Azrola spot, so the grain goddess for wheat, is your mother. And this is the position for the ranking Arnaldan priestess as long as she isn't also the chief, which is usually discouraged. And
Yeah.
lastly, in the Uryarda position, or the Eritha position, you call her Uryarda, is a woman named Mandana. So she speaks for the herds, basically.
And what was the Orlanthe's name again? I forgot.
Okay, so here's the thing. It is definitely somewhere in the second episode. And we haven't talked about it since. And I could not find it in a timely fashion. So he's the Chief Thane, who also doesn't have a lot to say about this because he's not really involved in this sort of like harvest planning stuff. It's not really his domain, so he doesn't have a lot to say about it. Yes, I went looking and could not find it. So we'll get it. Just not right now.
Okay.
So the 7 of them are kind of arrayed in the clan hall in a semicircle so that you can sort of stand and see all of them pretty easily and talk to them. And so your character will have to like pitch her pitch. I don't expect you to make a whole speech here. Unless you want to.
All in character.
I thank them all for being there in typical, I don't give a lot of formal speeches often speaking. But yeah, I think we should have a Harvest Queen festival to strengthen the clan, both in the field as well as in the harvest, in our connection with Arnalda as we are, and then in our stature in the clan and the tribe. Because I haven't seen other tribes do it. And so it would be good for us to pull in others to show that we have that tie, and also for us to strengthen it depending on who the victor is. And this came to me while tending the barley on the hides. You've allowed me to work. I don't know if it's Arnalda or just the Fire Day Sun that kind of gave me the idea of this, that I wanted to share with you and get your blessing and support so we can work together for the clan. And this time I thought it was better to, based on past experience, talk with you about it before doing anything. And that joke falls flat.
Yes.
And here we are.
You do not get the laughter you were perhaps hoping for. So the clan sort of, the ring discusses openly. So they're talking to each other, but they're not trying to like whisper or be quiet. They're sort of discussing some of the mundane issues with this, like how do we pay for it? Who pays for it? We'll have to contact vendors if we do this. We'll have to get merchants and things to come in because it'll be like a festival week, and it turns into sort of a deal. So they sort of chat about like, can we just handle can we even handle the logistics? The answer is yes, of course, but they have to go over it. And so once they decide that it's not impossible to do, they also sort of discuss whether or not they should. And one of the risks that they bring up, and this is something that Mandana brings up pretty easily early, this is the Uryarda, the herd one, is that, if something goes wrong, it would make for another bad year. And it's hard to survive several bad years in a row. You do have a chance to stick an oar in here if you want.
Okay. Well, I'm trying, this is in my getting the regalia and looking at things, did I get a insight into, nope, I don't have a cat jumping on my dice.
I was going to say, I hear a lot of hard sounds over there.
So I've seen what would make a successful Harvest Queen festival.
Mhm.
Like, would it be the strength of the pairing? Would it be the strength of the individuals who are paired together? Or just the competitiveness of the games themselves?
Okay. So yeah, a lot of things go into it, and this is something you sort of know. Like, yeah, the regalia and things matter. You're pretty sure you can have that covered. You're pretty confident that you'd be fine in the role, right? You're an Alden cultist. You're a Grain Goddess cultist, like above and beyond the passive way that most everybody is also a Grain Goddess cultist. You have a good connection to your, the runes that are appropriate here, right? Like you have a good Earth rune, you have a good look at your runes real quick. Okay, you have a good Earth rune, you have a good fertility rune, like Harmony rune's pretty good. Like just checking. But they look fine. So you have some,
Yeah.
You have the appropriate connections. You're not a bad candidate. You are single, you are younger, etc., etc. The candidates matter, but not as much as you would think. The marriage is the important part. It's more just you would think you have everything you need. I would roll insight here to see what she's driving at.
Success.
Okay, cool. So your Your instinct is that she is pointing out that you personally, in her opinion, might be a weak link in this, and some of that is just you're young, right?
Okay.
You go adventuring a lot. You have several hides of land, but you haven't settled down and gotten married yet. Also, last year you lost like an entire herd of sheep, so the cattle and sheep and
Okay.
herd lady is like, are we sure?
Well, I'm, okay. Now it's getting personal. So I think, and you're going to think I'm biased, but I'm one of the stronger ones because for the Harvest Queen, you do want somebody who's maybe younger for it to have some strength and closeness with the goddesses, with the divine, but also, yeah, not everything's been perfect, but I've embodied what a Gnarl teaches us, and there's always another way. When the clan was on the brink of starvation, was it the best way? Was my cousin, my cohort, myself maybe influenced a little bit by Orlanth and just kind of leaping first and figuring out answers later? Sure. But we found another way to make sure the clan survived. But also, when the herds weren't going well, yeah, we kept with them, but also I began barley. And Arnalda's not just earth fertility, but she's also the protective mother, and I've been protective of my cohort and of those younger than me since attaining adulthood.
True. Okay. Good. Roll an orate for me. I'm gonna assign a bonus to it because those are good arguments made in character.
Well, hopefully.
How'd you do?
Well, I rolled a 73, and my normal orate is a 65.
Okay, yeah.
With bonus.
So you can tell she thinks about what you're saying. She still has reservations, but they have been largely mollified. So your gut instinct is that she's not going to oppose this. She'll probably reserve the right to say, "Hey, I said we should think about it if something does go wrong." Though, Joe, you do get so you give your speech. You answer that opposition to you. You see Mandana sort of lean back and think and give like a grudging nod. And then your aunt sort of leans forward and pitches her voice to Mandana in we'll call it a stage whisper. It's aimed at Mandana, but everyone can clearly hear it. And she goes, "Yes, I'm sure she'll stick with it this time." The Marangor God Talker. Okay, so they do confer some more. The general feeling you get from listening to them is that they are definitely in favor of having a ritual to do the Harvest Queen stuff. There is some internal debate about whether or not it should be you doing it or not. Now, you do have some people in your corner. You did win Mandana over. Basically, your mother is obviously in your corner. Surprisingly, your aunt is in your corner. She's just me.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Like, the Chief Thane is just going to go whichever way the majority goes. This actually seems to be... Do you know his name? You know the Chief Thane's name?
That sounds right.
Thane of the clan and the Orlanth seat on the clan ring.
Yes, thank you.
He
is?
Clan members.
Man, I went back to the recording and was trying to find it. I didn't realize I'd written it down. I feel stupid now. Thank you.
It's right under cohort. There's two people, other clan members. Era Sablefur, the chieftain of the clan.
I can't believe I forgot that. Thank you very much.
Thane of the clan.
So yeah, Jarister represents Orlanth Barntar on your clan ring. So he mostly is the Chief Thane. He's the second in command after your chieftain. And he handles military matters. Raids, patrols, war, stuff like that. Make sure the fortifications are good, all that stuff. He's probably going to go with the majority. If he's forced into a tie-breaking position, he's going to be deeply uncomfortable. Though he'll probably just side with whatever the chief does. So functionally, the only person you really need to worry about right now is what the chieftain thinks you should do. Not that this is really a vote. She does have the final say. But, in Orlanthi tradition, it's hard for a chieftain to break with their ring on decisions that are being made by the ring. Like, she could decide to, but since the whole ring is being petitioned, she'll probably listen to them. So she's going to think about it for a little bit. So the tension builds palpably for your poor character. Soinnarios is like watching them talk, and she's like, right. And finally,
I feel it. I feel it.
Ara comes down on your side, luckily for you. So she says, "Why not? She's done good work for us, even if she's a little impetuous sometimes. I don't think anyone can doubt her commitment or loyalty to her goddess or to her lands or to her clan. And, frankly, yeah, we can see the ambition on her like the edge of a knife, but that's not a bad thing, is it?"
Hopefully not.
hey, ambition is one of your clan virtues.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
can
good
see
for us.
your will to rise shining out of this. You're angling to gain things out of this, and she knows that, and she's cool with it. She respects that. Cool. So you've passed hurdle 2. You've gotten the ring on board. Okay. So the next part of this is just that you have to make a lot of preparations, right? And so a big part of the first part of this is just recalling and remembering and learning and asking questions about both the wooing of Orlanth, but specifically the model that you're going to be using is not just the straight, like the myth, like the wooing of Orlanth, but a lot of your marriage rites and things of that nature for Aldicher and Tarsh are based on your kingdom's founders story, where Aram the Pauper like crosses over the cross line, heads south, makes it all the way to Caro Fen, and woos Serana Tor, an incarnation of Caro Fen, and that's how he forms the dynasty. She's the mother of the Earthshaker twins and all that stuff. And so this collection of stories about him like coming into Tarsh, wooing Serana Tor, founding the kingdom, is all kind of tied up in this big epic cycle called the Founding Cycle, which has a bunch of songs and poems and things that were sort of collated by a bard named Eight String several hundred years ago. And so it's your guys' Iliad, if that makes sense. Okay, so you're going to work off of that model. And one of the big things out of it that you know is that Aram was like super broke. He was called Aram the Pauper. He had nothing of value but a sword when he crossed into Tarsh, like into Dragon Pass. And he just had a bronze sword. Like he had a sword. That was his one valuable object, was just, I own a sword. And he had nothing else of value. He just had like the basic clothes he was wearing and that sword. And from that, he managed to found a dynasty that is the largest kingdom in Dragon Pass, that fought the Lunars for several hundred years, including a century of peace after the Earthshaker twins dropped a bunch of hills on the Lunar army, and the appropriately named Battle of Falling Hills. So kind of a big deal. But that's sort of your model for this stuff, is Aram's wooing of Serana Tor, the Earth incarnation, blah, blah, blah. So one of the things that Aram did is that this was like a long contest. He had to perform many deeds. You know that he gained many followers, performed various impressive deeds of like leadership and strength and blah, blah, blah. He also freed a lot of slaves. Those are just things that you know about this. And you can get some of the details filled in, and you'll have a better understanding of the myth of the wooing of Ronaldo by the time this is all done. So if you want to write down, like, because you kind of been collecting stories that you might use for Hero Quest at some point, this would be one of them. So you might note that. Okay. So next thing. The clan is going to arrange for prizes to the victors. So every day there's a contest for a week. You know this part of the structure. Whoever wins the contest gets a prize, right? And then whoever wins the most contests, whoever has the highest rank, choice, total, whatever, wins the contest and gets to, marry you for a year. You've kind of handled the clothing and ornaments already. There is sort of a tradition, because you're a matriarchal clan and stuff, whoever you marry, because they come to your clan and live in your household and all that stuff, you'll have to pay them like a dowry basically to move in with you for the year. So you'll pay their clan a certain amount of money.
Okay.
That cost you will carry, and the cost will depend on who wins.
They need a pauper.
So it depends. Like if someone super poor wins, right? Yeah, exactly. You pay very little. If like a noble wins, that's more expensive. Next up, this is where you get to make some choices. It's your harvest ritual. You get to make some decisions about the sorts of events that take place. So we're going to go through the day by day, and we'll make some decisions about this stuff. Okay, so This is a week-long festival. It starts on Wild Day. Wild Day is always traditionally a like entry day. So this is when the actual suitor competitors would show up. It's when festivities would start. It's also when people usually start placing bets, because betting is just a thing that's going to happen. The second day, on God Day, is a contest of movement. Now, traditionally, this would frequently be a horse race, but it could also be a foot race, climbing competition, a leaping competition. It just has to it has to be movement focused. So you get to pick that one. Just be aware. If you pick horses, right, you're going to be biasing the contest towards people who can ride well, and those are usually going to be warriors, thanes, merchants, nobles. If you go with a different one, you'll probably move away from that some. So you have to make some decisions here. Now, there are advantages to marrying wealthier. That doesn't necessarily, their personal wealth does not necessarily change the outcome of the contest as far as the ritual is concerned. So like picking horses
but
is
it might
going to make the
affect
crops
the
better,
clans.
but it might affect the clan.
Yeah.
So something to consider there.
I think the horse makes sense. Plus, even though I typically get off the horse, we've done a lot of horse riding for our adventures as well.
Okay, so we'll go with the horse race. Sounds good.
I hear Kathea in my head saying that's a good idea.
There you go. Horses. Always choose horses. Unless you can choose
Soybeans.
unicorns, in which case choose
You're
unicorn.
gonna have a bunch of Poldroni show up.
Ugh.
I
Stick
know
'em.
they're practically Praxians. Awful. Next up, next day, freeze day. This is day 3 of the competitions, right? And technically day 2 that you get to pick for. So day 3 of the festival, freeze day. This is going to be some sort of contest between men, like a physical might contest. This could be like something martial, okay? So it could be something like a duel or a joust, right? Or it could be an axe throwing contest or something of that nature. But you get to pick one. And you can see here too, you're kind of getting to sort of dial in what sort of husband you want a little bit.
Well, part of me is thinking about like an unarmored duel to first blood, kind of taking after Aram the Pauper there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we can do that. I will write that in. That also amusingly has some like get cut, bleed on the ground, fertility. Like it's like, is this a maze, right?
That too.
Okay, so we'll write
Do
that
they
down.
get a
First blood,
shield?
unarmored dueling.
Yeah.
So unarmored, but not necessarily undefended. Just no body armor. Okay, and obviously most of these are going to really discourage the use of magic. So no one's going to be casting Blade Sharp 4 and accidentally lopping. You could still accidentally lop some guy's head off, but it's harder. Okay. Day 4, Water Day. This day is meant to illustrate one's ability, like the prospective husband's ability to master their own body. So the usual contest would be something like a wrestling competition or a dance competition. So like not dancing with each other, but dancing like solo. But if you have something else in theme that you'd prefer to do, you can suggest it and we'll talk about its feasibility.
I like dance. I had to get good at it.
Fair cop, fair cop. And then the next day is Clay Day. Clay Day is pretty much always an oratory day. It's a leadership day. It's a day for like making rousing speeches and getting people on board with stuff. So you'll probably have that's not really much of an option there. Orlanth is a king. Aram became a king. There has to be some sort of leadership component to this. Like you don't want to just marry some dude. You want to marry someone like who's a leader of men.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Wednesday. This is our big Orlanth Holy Day. So this is a day that's about strength, raw might, power, right? Orlanth incarnate, all that nonsense. So traditionally, these are going to be like boulder tossing, like log throwing, like some sort of heavy physical thing. Like who can toss this caber the furthest, right? Or there is a bit of a tradition in Tarsh that's called chain breaking, where you let them like with an axe try to break chains, and you judge like a set of 3 chains and then strokes. Because Aram pretty famously freed a lot of slaves on his quest. This has political overtones. It also has personal undertones, or at least family undertones.
For me, yeah.
And if you don't,
Yeah, it does.
well, not for your extended family. You have a
Yeah.
cousin who freed a slave and married her. So
Let's do it.
this could be
Let's do
read
it.
as a tacit endorsement there. You are kind like you're. It also the other side of that, not to tell you no, because you have been running a pressure campaign, is that this is kind of also can be read pretty obviously as a commentary on like bondage and occupation and things. So, but if you want to do that, we'll go chain breaking. I'll underline chain breaking. And now that it's underlined, I will just say that I appreciate it when the PCs pick the most complicated options for themselves.
Well,
It's too late. I
yeah,
underlined it.
Kaloran or not, Anara.
Right.
No, that's why I'm all for it. But also, it has that Tarsh thing, and if we're trying to do something that's appropriate as a this world quest to help that seems like the most likely.
I'm not present, but I really appreciate it if I find out about this choice.
We may be becoming more normal PC than we plan to.
You're really not that
We're
anti-lunar
perfectly normal PC.
so far, like, which is great.
Exactly.
It's fine. Okay, day 7 is always ladies' choice. This is a day for like poetry and singing, where the men try to like put on their wooing face, and then the women pick who wins that.
We got a panel full of Marangor.
Yeah, just a bunch of axe wielding, like clutching their axes, watching you while they get drunk, and they're like, "Flex, sing a song."
Worse, it could be Vab Eastergore.
Yeah, that would be worse. That would be so much worse.
Yeah, pretty teeth.
Oh.
Can I make them sing and dance?
No,
At the same time.
they do whatever they think will woo. So they try to put on their wooing performance, and the women heckle and then rate. Basically, is how that works.
So who is part of your panel of judges for this? Because like none of our cohort is appropriate.
It's just the women of the clan. It's a popular acclaim thing. It won't be like vote counted, but just by cheers.
Mardina will get a nosebleed if somebody mentions elves.
I know, right?
I guess Mardina would be one that could participate and help you, but I'm guessing it's mostly Ronaldo initiatives.
Yeah, most of the clan's women are initiated to Ronaldo. Okay, so that covers those. You've made your choices. Next season, you will have to live with them.
Yep.
Other than that, the only other thing is that if you want to add or make or commission any like specific like jewelry or clothing for yourself, right, for the course of the week, now would be the time to do it. If you want it to be ready by then, you'll have fire season to kind of get that ready. So if you want like a cool, bracelet or something, torque, necklace, that would be the time.
Yeah, torque sounds like a good idea.
Okay, how much money do you want to put into that torque? How much silver do you want to have it in it?
If you need any, let me know. I don't know how much I'm gonna spend for what I'm doing, but I can help you.
Dang it. We also need to think about when you save for dowry.
Yes, you will also be going on an elf quest between now and then. So you have some. I mean, you're gonna get paid or you're gonna die. So you have some amount of money coming in still.
I just looked at you. You have like twice as much coinage as I do, so I was trying to be nice and help, but
No,
I'm a pauper.
Well, to be fair, Soinnarios has living costs. You do not.
No, that's fine. That's why I offered. So if
Yeah.
my cousin needs some extra, I've got over 300 silver sitting around, which
Yikes.
I would obviously love to have to spend on stuff, but I would also gift / loan to you.
Would 50 be okay?
Yeah, that'd make an appropriate like arm torque. It would be so remember a silver piece is roughly the size of a dime, right? So 50 dimes, that it's going to be a thin hammered band basically of a torque, but it will still be there. I mean, and it would be worth a lot of money, obviously. So, though some of its value will be in its workmanship, not its actual weight, because it'll be a piece of jewelry. Okay, I'm just going to write a note that you commissioned a 50 lunar arm man. Okay, and I think, unless you have questions for me, I think we are roughly good to go there.
Should I do seasonal skills or not? Or
we will hopefully do those at the end of this.
Okay.
But nothing more is going to happen to you, so if you want to handle those, if you want to roll those and record them while we're doing Kathea stuff, that's absolutely fine. Okay, cool. And then we'll talk about them hopefully at the end of this session. But feel free. Okay, cool. All right, Kathea, on your end, you need to do a lot of legwork here with your like you're trying to build up the shrine that you've been maintaining at the sacred site in the Indigo Mountains that you've been working on off and on. You're wanting to build it up into something a little more permanent, so that you can initiate into the subcult of that star captain in order to. Right now, you can summon small salamanders. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So this would push you to mediums. Right. This would give you access to medium, like summon and dismiss medium salamanders. Generally speaking, small elementals are utility pieces. Medium elementals are combat useful pieces, and large elementals belong to whoever is holding that rune. So, like, the moon can summon large loons. Orlanth only Thunderous can summon large sylphs without joining a subcult.
Yeah.
Adventurous has to join the Kolot subcult to do it. Arnalda can summon large. So mediums are going to be about as far as you can go, but a medium is useful. You can put a fire elemental over an entire person at that size, which is unpleasant for that person. So that's where you'll go.
Yeah, it seems like it would be.
Yeah, it's not fun to be engulfed in living fire that hates you. So the first thing that you need to do is you're going to need to do a fair amount of research, because actually initiating the subcult requires, similarly to like the way the Harvest Ritual work, like this world hero quest, like you need to know some stuff and reenact certain rites in order to reach this entity. So the first thing you need to learn, most basic and important, this star captain that you've been visiting, his name was In Elmatis. So he has got an old fire speech name. It's Enelmatus.
Okay, EELM. What's that for the
Alpha, then like A, T-U-S.
T-U-S. Okay.
Cool. And
Okay.
Almatis. He is sometimes titled the Glowing One. He was a star captain. He's a minor star. So one of the little, if you don't look directly at it, you can see a little spot of light in the sky. He was that for a while.
Okay.
Interesting side note, in real life, you can see specific small stars better out of the corner of your eyes than you can by looking right at them. I don't know why that is, but I do know it's true. So you can see like the fringing of the Milky Way better if you don't look straight at it. So I don't know why that is, but it happens to be true. Anyways, he used to be one of those faint lights in the sky. He was called by Yolorna. He fell to his doom, smiting some either chaos or darkness spirit during the Gods' War, and he's been smoldering there ever since. Yes. So holding it down. So as long as he's burning there, whatever is there is
okay.
It might be dead and he's purifying it. It might be alive and he's just keeping it there. You don't know. So it is useful to sometimes visit him and make offerings and stuff.
No, that's perfect. I want to build him up to be kind of a maintained shrine.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you need immediately like more information about him. You've been visiting a shrine and just leaving offerings. Basically, you've built like a little space or a nook or something where you can leave offerings to him, and you've known his name previously, but not a ton about him. In order to actually properly initiate, you'll need more information. The easiest way to get that information is to talk to your priestess, and she'll probably have you cast divination at some point to like directly learn more.
So I was gonna talk to the priestess, and I can't remember who our priestess is.
Colchis.
I have it written down. Or you do.
Colchis.
Yep. It's right in the middle. Yep. Colchis. Talk to her. Also refer to old temple documents if we have. I know we don't have a ton, but we got some. We certainly have some.
Since you can read now, what language do you read?
That's right. Tarshite.
Tarshite. Okay.
I can't read.
Can't read fire speech, so you'll have access to some records, but not to others.
Martina?
She can't read fire speech either. Sorry, she can read Tarshite and trade talk, and she's learning New Pelorian.
I wasn't sure if trade. I didn't even know trade talk had a one. That's just what I know.
It uses the same alphabet as the Ellen. It uses the same alphabet that Tarshite does. It's always just recorded locally with the local lettering, but she can read. She knows what the words mean. Okay.
All right. So, I'll talk to Colchis and then see what she can tell me, and then
okay. So, first thing, make a cult lore roll for me, just to see what you kind of know from just like having been involved, and this would also cover your ability to recall things from your temple records.
Can I boost that with my devotion?
Yes. Of note, I don't know that we've been playing it this way, but you can only spend each thing once per session. So if you use your devotion here, you wouldn't be able to draw on it later. And it's okay. You have other things you can use. I just want to...
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
My question is if I'd want to keep it for later, but I can use like a rune later, which might make more sense when we're thinking to the sire. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it here to hopefully boost.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely fine.
And I got a success in devotion, which gives me plus 20.
Yes. And you can check your devotion.
Cult lore. Which it's good I did that because I rolled a 72, which succeeds with the plus 20.
Okay, good.
But would not have without it.
Nice. So you do remember a few things that will be helpful. One, you know that Enelmatis, while he is a star captain, you know that when he fell as a physical star. So he didn't take the form of a warrior. He fell as a like hurtling sphere of like light and fire and all that stuff. So he fell physically as a star, which is a useful note. He didn't descend spiritually as an armed warrior. He got hurled like a rocket. Other notes,
good for my purposes here.
Right. You know, like obviously, Yolorna is the Starbringer. Yolorna called him to battle. So he answered her as a bannerman, basically. That one you get for free. Then you'll need to talk to Colchis to get anything more.
Okay. So yes, I will approach Colchis. I assume I've already told her about going to the shrine, but if not, I will now.
Yeah, she would know.
I've already made him aware that yes, I did this thing. And what I'll tell her is I'd like to reinstate the shrine and make it an active worship place that people can go and make it more of a permanent rather than just going there and clean it up, but make it an actual place.
Mm-hmm.
a holy place.
She considers it briefly. While you don't necessarily need her permission to maintain holy sites, she gives you her permission. Like, I think that's a good idea. It's often in the duties of wanderers, which is technically what you are. You're an initiate that's
Right.
not serving as a temple maiden, so like a shield maiden. So it's like it's in the remit of your duties to like attend to shrines and maintain active worship sites beyond the temple. And so this would be a good fit for that. So she's keen to have you do that. There are more holy sites to Yolorna than there are people to keep them active usually.
Yeah, makes sense.
So total side note, I want you to know sorry, that while I have kind of been like, yeah, there's a Yolorna temple in Dragon Pass and there's one in Prax, and I'm pretty sure there's one in the provinces too, like north of you. I know there is one now. Because Huaran Delthipa had to, once her husband was murdered, before she went on her conquering roads and like conquered a bunch of like the Seredites, basically, she went through Yolornan rites to ritually become a maiden again, so that she could get a war unicorn before she went conquesting.
There you go.
Which I thought was pretty cool. And I was like, I knew there had to be one, but now I know canonically that there was one, which is useful. Also, a side note here. Huaran Delthipa's conquest of Sard is what caused Aram the Pauper to cross the cross line and found the kingdom of Tarsh. So lots going on in this period. It all connects. It was just been a few hundred years ago. So like the 1300s.
Right.
Yeah. 1330s, I think. So yeah. But
it's actually one of the things I really like about Glorantha is it doesn't fall into the trap of a lot of fantasy worlds of this happened 3,000 years ago that we have perfectly documented. It's like, nah, this happened 5 generations ago.
Yes, I agree. And it's already kind of mysterious. Yeah, like I like that about it. Those were asides, but I thought they were relevant to share. In any event, so Cultus will, and you'll learn like some of this stuff as Cultus is recounting stories and stuff, because she has to like, lots of things are written down. Lots of things are also stored in stories and songs. They're often fragmentary. And so she has to work, like a lot of times, the way you get to a fact is to start where you know to start and then just keep going until you get to whatever you need sometimes. Like, so you can't just like go to chapter 2, verse 20. Like, you have to start at a known marker to start and then work through it. And sometimes there are layers there that become more apparent if you recite a larger chunk of things. So you get more information that way. She can help you with this. She knows that this is there are several shrines and sacred places where star captains fell. There are a bunch of them, really. And so they have some commonalities that she can draw from to give you some information about him. She knows that, she knows when he fell that he did contain a darkness monster. So he smote some sort of, she's not, the name of the actual enemy is Lost.
Almost wrote down Lost.
Oh, nice.
That's not the name. We just don't know it.
No, the name isn't Lost. It's just you lost the name.
Yeah.
Yes. That's funny.
No, I understood. It just took me a second.
Nice. Yeah, you smote some sort of darkness demon. Yeah, lost the troll. Lost the troll ball. And
it happens.
The darkness, of course, is hard to remove, so he's laying there still smoldering and keeping it from rising again. One thing and this is sort of a note, so there are trolls in the Indigo Mountains.
Yeah,
like there are several small troll clans there, so that there is some rivalry there. So he did break something darkness related, which is fine. Fighting darkness is something that Yolorna did a lot of. It's totally cool.
They're not going to be happy about me. Probably going to get some pushback here at some point from trolls for reinstating this place. So that's okay.
Probably at some point. That would be something to be aware of. The other detail she can give you would be, like, she's fairly familiar with Star Captains as a class, so she knows the sort of equipment. Like, Star Captains are warriors from the heavens. They wear armor made of silver. They carry silver spears and silver shields. They have helmets. So she can walk you through. It's really pretty similar to like your arming traditions of how you wear armor and put things on. There are rituals around this. Your Yolornan rituals are based on the rites of the Star Captains. So you would know how a Star Captain like prepares themselves for battle. That would be relevant to the sequence because he will have a moment where he's called and then arms himself before marching to war. Even though he falls as a star, he's still a person. So you would know those rites. And she kind of can clarify them for you and help you apply them to him. Beyond that, she knows that and this is like a recurring theme with sky generally and fire. Fire purifies, right? It consumes things and removes filth. It can cauterize wounds. It can scour unclean places. It burns back mold and things. Light gets rid of mildew and stuff. So like there's a lot of that. Light cleanses and purifies. Sky and fire do those things too. So you would know that before he enters the physical world, there would be a set of purification rites that he would have gone through to ready himself for war. The specifics of those and how they apply to you are the sort of thing you would need to like inquire directly of your goddess. So that would be the sort of thing that you would need to roll like a divination for,
right?
To kind of get, and they're specific. So, do you want to do that at this time?
Absolutely. I am going to prepare myself on an auspicious. I guess it would be a night since he's a star.
Yes,
it's my goddess is a star associated. Incense, ritually purify myself, wear my silver that I would normally wear, and sit down and call on my goddess to explain what I'm doing and tell me, see if I can find out information about him.
Okay, so this would be where you would
go and roll.
You would lean on your fire rune here to cast the divination.
Yep. So that's what it goes. I roll 71, but I've got a 95 fire rune.
Yes, you're extremely fire aspect. So
I'm more so than anything else.
Yeah, like that's your general call is to be idealistic and purified and removed.
I am pure every way.
There you go. All right, so you enter a stargazing trance where you go through, like Yolorna shows you, she would have presided over Enomadis's purification rites, like as part of charging him with battle and giving him a task. She would have helped prepare him for it. And so you see what he does through her eyes, basically. So she's showing you what she saw. And so you can see it from her perspective. So you would know. And a lot of this is there are echoes of it in how you do things before like holy days and things like that. Like you have a lot of these rituals, but their construction and some of the specific steps are different. Right. And so now you're being shown this like by your goddess. She's like, this is how he did it. I was there. I helped him with it. You can see it through your own goddess's eyes. And so you will remember these parts.
Excellent. That's exactly what I need.
Yeah. And this is a good, like, put a check in your fire rune, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
I assume I don't need to remind you guys. I try to, just to make sure.
No, I appreciate that, actually, because sometimes I'm not sure if we should or not, but this one seemed kind of clear.
Generally, if I ask you to roll it and you succeed, if you succeed, special, critical, or fumble, like you should probably put a check in it.
No more fumbles.
Yeah. If you just regular fail, you learn nothing. But if you succeeded to any degree or really screw up, you learn something. And I think technically, I don't think fumbles are supposed to count in this edition. I don't think Request Glorantha actually does that, but I like it as a consolation prize.
I don't know that it ever has. At least I don't remember in Request 2 or 3, but it's okay with me because you're right. You got enough else going bad. You might as well get it.
You might as well get something out of it. If you survive this, at least you'll get something.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, this takes a few days of like talking and studying and committing things to memory, casting, divination ritual, all that stuff. So it takes you a while to figure all this stuff out. Once you've got there, you will need to prepare some ritual objects that you can leave on, like, at the sacred site in order to like turn it properly into a shrine. This will cost some money. The big thing that you need is some sort of like permanent altar, right? And you need votives. And votives are things that are meant to stay in place and are dedicated to the god. Oftentimes this would be like an image. It's like a small statue, not like a life-size statue, but like a foot tall, roughly.
Right.
Like statue of a star captain. It would include things like candle holders that are silver 10, sky oriented. An actual altar would need to be made to leave offerings on. Those are stone, but they would be worked.
Yeah.
And so that stuff will cost some money. Like actually founding a shrine costs some money. Like you've been spending money seasonally to make offerings and to clean up the area, like make incremental improvements, but this is a bigger step.
This is a big jump. No, that's good. So I guess we'll try to get an altar shaped either here or another local clan if somebody else is better, or even over in Altucher, or alone since it's on the way. Anywhere I can get that done, we'll want to get that done because that's not in my skill set, and I don't know if it's anybody's skill set in our clan.
Yeah, it would be masonry, and it would be...
And same with the boat. What was that?
I said it would be masonry, and so yeah, Altucher or alone would be your best bets for that.
If I think I could get it alone, it's on the way, so we could go there and we could have a little experience alone. But if it makes more sense to go to Altucher since we already know it and know people, do that. And we'll get the statue cut as shaped. Is that probably going to be like stone and then covered in silver?
Stone with probably like silver gilding on the armaments, maybe the helmet, you know?
Okay. Helmet,
silver gilding. I guess gilding means golding a thing, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yep. And then we'll do a couple candle holders.
Cool. Yeah, that way you can light candles or incense and things. Yeah. So the total cost of all this is probably going to float around. It's going to be closer to 200. Alchis is going to pick up some of the costs, so you're going to be looking at about 150 lunars.
Oh, well, that was nice. I appreciate that.
She's interested in this. She wants more shrines and things built. More resources for the temple are a good thing. She's willing to invest. But
is there anybody else that's interested in going with me?
You can collect a few initiates that are floating around who have been... You kind of have had you've done this for a couple of seasons. You've had a slightly different mix of initiates go with you each time. So you'll be able to recruit a few of them to help you with this. So they can help haul things and they'll be present for the rites when you actually try to turn this into a subcult, basically.
That's great.
To assist you. So you'll have some help, but no, there's not like a Star Lady or anything like that to do heavy lift. So
you're the heavy lift. That. I just thought so. If this is something that it doesn't feel like the kind of thing you should just be doing. Oh, all by myself, I'll go over and do this thing. It's like, no, it should be some people from my cult, assuming somebody wants to go. But yeah,
you have
other initiates.
Several, like a handful of initiates will help you with this stuff, which you can draw from the list of known initiates, or you can add a couple of randos to the group as you please.
Yeah, I mean, whoever is available.
Right. Harsta would be pretty easy to get. She's an initiate from Altucher.
Yep. I like her too. Maybe just a couple of others,
yeah. Just a handful of others.
Yeah.
You can probably... You have time.
It's the one that...
You could likely acquire an Elven initiate if you wanted.
Is it the Starleaf, since we already have her written down?
Yeah, probably Starleaf would go. So she seems to be the one most likely to actually show up to the temple and do stuff.
Well, and I don't know if some of the elves aren't going to be quite as keen on picking up the more fiery aspects of things, probably.
Yeah, Yolorna is a known war goddess among the elves, but she's not the most popular one. Babista Gore is the most popular one. Outside of High King Elf himself, she's the most popular dedicated war goddess. Okay. Yep. So you'd be able to pick up Starleaf and Harsta, and you would be able to pick up another one or two, just initiates who are around at that time. Yep. It is fire season, so you have a larger gathering of people because you're not technically your high holy day, but your most important of the seasonal holy days is going to occur this season. So you can grab a few people. It's not too terribly difficult. So next up, you've got your assistants, your commissioning gear and things. It'll take some time for that stuff to get built.
When we get started early, so we can complete this in fire season, because it seems like that would be the right season to do this.
Yeah, your timing is such that you'll be able to do this in fire season. It will largely replace your seasonal holy day. You'll be doing this instead of that, but the rewards will likely be worth it unless you screw it up. So, which is possible.
Thank you. Now I'm cursed.
Hey, yeah, anytime. So next up on our list of things, you've got your supporters selected. So the next thing to do is when you're getting towards your auspicious day for this, a holy day, you'll need to have left early and get out there with your gear and things that you've commissioned and purchased on your supporters, and you'll go through you've been doing worship rites where you worship the spirit, you leave offerings to him, and that has given you a greater connection to spiritual forces that allow you to make power gain checks and things, because you're doing Yolornan services at a sacred site to her. This one is a little different in that you're trying to reach out directly to the star captain who's here and form a connection with him as a subcult of Yolorna, essentially. So you'll have to go through a reenactment of his rights and his story, which will present like a This World Hero quest in order to activate the subcult.
Okay.
Okay, so the big things for you are that you'll spend, so once you get out there, you'll have to post like a guard because you do know that there are trolls around, at least in the mountains, right? Like not necessarily
I got a
here.
question. Should I take a couple of my family members who are not Yolornans, let them be the guards? The rest of us can participate in the worship.
Yeah,
Or is
you
that
could.
too far out there?
I would try to pick maybe clan members who are like lay members to do the guarding part, which those are not terribly uncommon.
Okay.
There are a fair number of
Okay. So nobody in my normal cohort.
right, yeah.
If we can get somebody.
Yeah,
That way,
you are.
all the initiates that go with me, I would like them to be part of the worship if they can. If they
Right,
want
they
to.
will be. And even the guards will be included in things. They're just on the edges of it, which is a good place for lay members. So
Okay.
So you can bring several of them along as well to kind of bolster your numbers and have some people like standing sentry and watching out just in case, sort of stuff. And then once you arrive and you have all your stuff, you'll have to set up and go through the sort of worship ceremonies that you usually do in order to get like sanctify the space, and then you'll reach into this quest.
I assume I'll probably sit there and literally arm myself as part of it in the correct.
Yeah, it'll
correct
start
order.
with just like getting the space ready and getting your right set up. The actual first station in this myth, if we can call it that, would be the call. This would be like when Yolorna actually issues a call to arms in her role as Starbringer, and then you kind of go through that. So you will prepare your rights and do all that stuff. Then at some point, you'll diverge from like what you usually do and reach out and begin this like reenactment. So you are in the role of this Star Captain for this, essentially. Like you're going to go through his experience, and you like this is going to be relatively difficult to mess up. You're going to make a couple of rune type rolls and things. The more I say you can't mess it up, the more likely you are to mess it up. And so I have to say it a few times.
It's going to be your fault.
But it's important that I, really emphasize that this will go smoothly. So anyways, as the ritual kind of goes on and you're prepping things and you're focusing in and meditating on what's going to happen, you hear like a great cry, like from the distance, like you hear like a powerful voice, like calling out, like to all the heavens, and you know that voice is calling for you, right? So you rise to go march. This would be the call portion of the station. So like Yolorna receives the mandate of heaven essentially from like Deizatar. She calls the stars to war, and you answer that call. As before you leave wherever your Elmatis was, you'll go through your armoring rites, and this is where you would do that. So if you have something in mind, feel free to tell me what that looks like.
I don't really. I mean, I assume it's basically the order and like a set of prayers almost as she's equipping each piece of armor and each piece of weapon that signifies it and links it to the cult and to various gods in the cult. I assume this is centered around more spear and shield rather than her normal bow. So
yes,
maybe as more of a heavy spear using warrior.
Yes, those are all good assumptions. So you go through like putting on your various pieces of armor, purifying and blessing the armor, reciting specific prayers, taking up your shield, taking up your spear, putting on your helmet, right, your helm and all that stuff. So this takes some time. This is a place where you would just roll a fire rune for me.
But that's okay.
It's okay. You passed. That's
fine.
A
success.
Don't worry about it. Like, you're gonna be okay. Okay, the next
9. I was like, oh no.
Once you've prepared yourself and you've gone through your armoring rites, you as an Elmatis will move across the heavens. So you move across the sky dome to the center of the sky dome. So you're posting up where Polestar is. Yolorna has summoned him to battle as well to be her general. Yolorna herself, you see her from his perspective. So she's like this tall, sort of like very fearsome, but also very controlled, almost serene, but like she's not in a rage, but she looks like she could just like lash out at any moment, but would be very focused and precise and intentional. So she looks like a top bowstring would really be the appropriate metaphor. As a person, she's wearing all silver armor. She has a spear and a shield with her. She's carrying this huge bow made of silver and fire and all of its arrows in her quiver glow with the light of the stars. And she's when you see her when she's conferring with Polestar as she's ordering the stars to battle, she's standing next to like this massive pure white unicorn that has like a huge silver horn. So you're kind of seeing her in her like full war regalia. And so you approach. She finishes conferring with Polestar. You have no idea what they're talking about, but like you don't hear the specifics. But they're obviously arranging the stars into battle groups. And she turns to you to receive you, and then she charges you with a mission. She tells you, there's a great foe that you have to strike down, and I will help you prepare for that. And she takes you through these purification rites. So helps you re-clean your armor, meditate, ties back your hair, does all these things, has you swear certain vows and oaths to your goals. Like that will help strengthen your soul and like make you ready for it. And you'll go through all of those. You don't have to roll for these. You already know them as they're revealed by divination. So you'll go through all this stuff. Cool. I do want you to put a check in your death rune.
I didn't roll for it.
You don't have to. Like you're going through a hero quest where you swear yourself to the death of your foes and also yourself.
I mean, having a high rune there is kind of nice, but they're going to send me off somewhere else while they're doing these rituals in their season, aren't they? Because I just am like a pox on that.
Yeah, they're like, you're really tough to be around during the harvest. I showed you a baby bird and it just died. It just stopped. It's tough. Okay, next up is the sending. So once
I've been playing the Humakti this time.
I know, you went with the high death rune. I don't know what to tell you. So after she's charged you and helped you and prepared you as best she can, Yolorna points to where you need to be. Like far, far below you is this tiny little spot from your perspective. So it's like a whole mountain, right? But like from as high up as you are, it's this speck on the land. And it's crawling with some sort of horrible darkness, the same thing that rose out of the ground after the sun was slain, covers the sky, is covering the land. And that's your chosen foe. You are the champion of that battle. And she sends you to it. So at this point, you do something you've never done before. Not just you, but also in Almatis. You've been walking around in the Sky Dome. That's where you live. The Sky Dome is your floor. But once you know where you need to go, you feel Yolorna. She puts a hand on your back and you leap towards the earth, and she helps boost you. So she sends you, like physically sends you as well, to war. Can you leap from the Sky Dome? And at some point, that leap up becomes a hurdle down, and you realize you're falling now, and you're falling, and that like you are personally have become a star. Like you are a burning chunk of light and fire hurtling through the air. Now you see the thing you're sent to fight. You see it see you and realize it can't run. You feel oddly serene about everything. You've prepared yourself. You know what you're doing. You know what the cost is, and you feel the moment of impact. You feel everything go white, and then you return to the rights that you were in. So you're back in your body. And now in front of you is what was until just a moment ago your body, like the remains of and Almatis are kind of spread before you and in the ground here, like smoldering even now. Mechanically, I want you to put a check in your cult lore if you don't have it already. Put a check in worship.
I already do.
Okay, go ahead and put a check in worship, Yolorna. Okay, as part of this, you're going to want to sacrifice 1 point of power. It will go into your Yolornan rune pool, so you'll gain 1 rune point.
I don't have to track that separate.
No, so a sub-cult is part of your cult. So you don't get this isn't a spirit cult. It's not like a separate minor initiation. It's a sub-cult to Yolorna. So you'll sacrifice 1 POW. You'll add it to Yolorna's rune point total. You won't get an associated spell with this, but you gain access to medium salamander. You'll gain access to dismiss and summon medium salamander. Those are cult spirits for you now. So your ability to do that just goes up. You already have the power to summon things natively.
Yep. They just go from small to medium.
Medium, yeah. Other than that, you'll lead these worship rites to him now. You've basically awakened him as a subcult to Yolorna. So now other followers can do the same sort of thing you've done, go through a ritual in order to sacrifice POW and gain access. They have to come here to do it, but they can gain access to
Right.
larger salamanders. So this is not just something you've personally gained, it's a path you've opened for your cult. As a result of that, you can put it, your worship roll is assumed to be successful. You will regain any spent rune points from this season. You'll get a POW game check. It is also going to be assumed to be immediately successful because you went through like a minor hero quest.
Oh, so I don't have to roll it to be successful?
No, it just succeeds.
So I'll just take the 1 and that just returns my power.
Or
so
just
I don't have to
return
trust
it. Yeah, makes sense.
I don't want to have to mess with all the, because I'm right on edge where going down 1 reduces a whole bunch of bonuses and I have to go through calculus to stay right there.
No, I understand. I get it. Okay,
Cool.
so
that was cool.
No, pretty cool. And now you also have the story, so you could use it as a hero quest in the future if you needed to.
Right.
So keep track of that sort of thing, like you're learning myths and stuff that might be useful as your characters become more powerful and more able to reach into the mythic world. Other things that will happen to you this season is that your temple will commission for you as a mark of this, like founding the subcult essentially. Like the Star Captain's always been there. This has always been a path that's available. It hasn't been taken for long enough.
Right.
That you're essentially refounding the subcult for your temple. As a mark of this
Right.
distinction, the temple is commissioning for you, and you'll receive this near the end of fire season, a silver dagger that you can carry.
Okay.
So it's a silver weapon dagger, this time instead of a spear.
Yep.
It has a large citrine, so it's a yellow semi-precious stone set in the pommel that would be round and
Yeah.
cut.
How do you spell citrine? Okay.
Poor Soinnarios is like, I had to spend money. Like, all I did was give up stuff.
I did
And
too.
like you're like getting stuff. Yeah, I know you
spent
spent
100.
money to get stuff. But
I spent. Okay. Does this do
Soinnarios,
anything
all your
else, or
rewards will
just
come
as
in a
representative?
yeah. So it represents the subcult for you. It represents you, it like gives you like representation as refounding an Amontage's subcult. It also has it comes with like a sheath, right? Like for your belt to carry it in. That is like fine leather. It has silver caps on the ends, basically where you sheath it, and then at the end where the point goes. And it has thread of silver that mark like the Yolornan rune set. So the Yolornan rune, like it's not uncommon to picture the death rune with the fire rune imposed over the 3. So like
makes perfect sense.
The inside of this, like the inside of the circle, would hold those 3, and then part of the longer bottom one, and you'd have the dot in the middle. So it kind of makes a bullseye.
So it's not.
But
so it's not just I got a silver dagger, but I have a sheath that tells everybody it is both silver and sacred to Yolorna.
Yes. You may also roll 1d3 for doing this.
I got a 3.
Okay.
6. So that's 3. Reputation's now 30.
Yes, your reputation has risen because you have founded a subcult and have markers of the same. Cool. All right. So now at this point, we're almost done with time, but I think we have enough time. I'm surprised we got through both of those. I thought they would take longer. Not a lot, but I thought they would each take like 10 or 15 minutes longer than they did. So we're actually doing well. Kathea, go ahead and assign your occupational and cult rolls, so those 4 dice or 4 checks into things. Resolve all the checks that you need to resolve. I'm going to ask Soinnarios how theirs went, and then I'll come back to you, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Soinnarios, how'd it go? Okay.
My insight and orate thankfully went up.
Okay, good.
Got some craft beer going up.
Nice.
Some plant lore and some manage household and intrigue. My clan did not go up in loyalty.
You got manage household to go up?
Yes. I
I'm
rolled
surprised.
a 73,
That's a good
and
skill.
then it's one of those, I'm like, it's probably a wasted roll, but I needed to try it.
Right.
But I rolled a 73, and then with the auto 3 as opposed to a roll, it went up 3 to 73, so
nice.
I felt like it was, I thought of it there. I need to pay the gold, the silver, not gold, to have the shrine.
Oh, you never actually paid that?
And not for this season.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you'll need to pay your seasonal, and that will give you a power gain check. You'll have time to lead your little group of Pelora enthusiasts, beer enthusiasts, really, and worship rites to Pelora. Another side note with Pelora, it's funny because she's not a very major goddess where you are. She's a minor grain goddess, as Rola's the bigger one. My understanding is that in Prax, the primary crop is barley.
That makes sense.
So I thought that was kind of neat.
I
Yeah, so
made
you'll
my
need to
worship
go.
Ronaldo check.
Good job. So you'll get back any room points you spent. I don't know that you spent any this time.
I think I'm good.
I will say, as we're kind of like rolling stuff, I do appreciate that. Well, I think Elorna is a very cool and satisfying cult, and I think that Kathea, you are getting to do the things you want. I do feel like there is a visible gap in how easy things are between like the Arnalda cult and the Elorna cult.
What do you mean by that?
Just like the Arnalda cult is so much bigger and more embedded in society
Yeah.
that like being like, I want to set up a shrine. It's like, yeah, it's cool. You can just build one on clan lands because it's grain, right? So anywhere you go grow grain, you can have a shrine. That's fine. Like, oh, it's easy to learn the mist because everybody knows all these stories and stuff. And you're like Soinnarios' research for her myth was like, think about all the poems you heard growing up. And your research was like, go read the temple records, talk to your priestess, and then cast divination. Like, there's definitely a gap there.
It's okay. I'm really enjoying this character because this one I think I built over 25 years ago initially and never got to play.
Right.
So I'm really having fun with her. But I have noticed, like, especially with RuneQuest Gloriantha being a little higher powered at the initiate level than we used to be. It's like I already know all of our divine spells, and I have 9 rune points. I'm pretty powerful as a character, really. I'm pretty
You're very
powerful.
powerful. You have more rune points than I thought.
But yeah, I got 9 now.
Yeah, you're really getting up there.
But I also, you can see the limitations of the cult, and I appreciate getting to do this extra one. And I really didn't need more power as such, so it was really a lot more fun as far as it was cool to be like, yes, you got to do something for your cult that nobody's done because you are a small cult. Therefore, you can do these things, in Arnaldo, it'd be much harder. It's like, well, of course, there's this, shrine here that somebody every single generation takes care of because our whole clan depends on it. So the upside is you have all that support for Arnaldo, and the downside is it's already all there. But I'm really enjoying it. This game's been fun, and I enjoy, even though I'm not doing it, the fact that we have so much support for Soinnarios to run a household and do this. Even though my character, as we moved on, has been less and less involved in that. It seems like naturally she's kind of floating away from that as she becomes more and more into her combat cult.
Yeah.
So, but I will say I did not increase devotion, which is no surprise. I did not increase fire. I did not increase death.
Okay, so none of those went up. Those are all very high already, so it's not surprising. Yeah.
Yes. Appropriately, both lore and worship went up, which were already decent skills. That, to me, that makes a lot of sense. I went ahead and took one-hand spear and shield because A, they need to increase, but also B, because they seem very appropriate to what we just did. And then on top of the last 2, I put track and hide, and just I needed 2 more skills that are highlighted for my cult. I'm like, okay, let's do those. I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, okay, we'll just do these 2. And they did go up because they're fairly low.
I got my power check.
Okay,
how'd that go? 35 and I rolled a 29. So
good job.
Nice.
All right, I have one more question I would like to do based on they gave me the silver dagger, which I very much appreciate. I would like to inquire what it would take to, whatever the right word. I was gonna say silver guild, but that doesn't make sense. So anyhow, my helm.
Oh, like getting a silver helm?
I was thinking that what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay, so
or fancying it up with some silver on it, whatever it's the right term, because I want to put in the thing that shows that same rune that you mentioned, and also make sure it's something that's kind of specific to having done this quest. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so having your helmet like silver faced, right? So having like silver leaf or whatever, or inlay, however you want to, whatever technology is appropriate there. I don't really know how you do that. I'll have to look into it, but it obviously exists in setting. If you just want to decorate your helm, you can just spend money on that. If you want, like, and you can use those the Yolornan rune set and the Yolornan bullseye sort of look, and that's fine. You remember the cult. They're not going to get upset with you for like prominently displaying cult symbols. They're not secrets. If you want a silver helm,
like about the cost.
Right. It would be expensive. It would be something that a jeweler does, because jewelers handle precious metals and gems. So that would be It's not a ton of silver, but it's a lot of work, right? And it's precision work. So I would eyeball it at 50 lunars, but I'll look it up and make sure like what I should be.
Okay. And the question goes to, is that an enchanted thing that then I can still safely wear in combat, or is that going to just be like a separate ceremonial piece?
Okay, so that would just be like putting silver on your normal bronze helm would just be decoration that raises the cost of that helm. You can just do that. If you want an enchanted, like we took this piece of silver and enchanted it into armor, right? That's enchanted armor is generally something that's issued to rune levels because it takes a lot of
I don't know,
silver.
silver.
Yeah,
Well, no, and I wasn't wanting to do that. What I
right.
was wanting to ask is, if I do this, you talked about the jeweler route and all, and putting it on there. Is that something then that is going to get torn up in combat? So that's probably not practical for my actual
No,
armor,
I'm not
like an
going to do
actual
that.
display day to day.
It should be fine. It
Okay.
will be inlaid into the helm.
Okay.
If it gets messed up, it's something that you can, like, for one, your cult has silver or smithing, like, as a thing. They can touch it up and fix it, right? Or you could cast repair on it.
Okay.
Like, so no, it's not something that's going to cost you to
That's all I
upkeep.
want.
So
I just, when we first talked about this before, they gave me the dagger. I was thinking I wanted to do a helm. So I'd like to take my closed helm and do that and just pretty it up.
No, that's cool.
with
You can
silver.
absolutely do that.
If it's 50 lunars, I'll just spend it. If it's not, you can tell me later.
Yeah, go ahead and spend it, and if I decide it's less, because it's not going to go higher. That's like it might be a little less if I actually like look at all the rules and calculate out how long it would take and do all that. But if it is less, I'll figure it out later, and then I'll edit your sheet to reflect that. Okay, are there any more rolls tonight that we need to make? Does anybody need any advancement stuff?
No more rolls, but I need more advancement, of course.
Okay, well,
Yes.
you can only advance
So
at your own pace.
next season, we're going to be into Earth season next time, right? And we have both elf stuff and the big Earth thing to do.
We will have 2 adventures during Earth season, but one of them will take place on the clan lands.
Time.
Good. I'm sorry.
I say when we have time in world to make them both work.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of time in that 8-week period to do like 3 weeks worth of stuff. You will the second adventure is going to be the Harvest Festival, the Harvest Queen Festival. It will take place on clan lands anyway, so it won't count against your ability to gain occupational and cult skills like checks.
Yeah, I wasn't even worried about that. I was only all I was really worried about is that we didn't have something that said this has to happen this week for this elven thing, and holy, that's like the week right before.
No.
Soinnarios is contest.
Nope, we'll be good. It'll all work out via the magic of GMing, and also the calendar doesn't conflict, so it's fine. Their next couple sessions will be those 2 adventures. That might take 3 sessions total, maybe 4. I don't know. I doubt it takes just 2. I doubt we do the entire elf thing in one session because we usually haven't been able to.
I'm curious what Earth season is going to be the threat.
Well, you'll find out soon.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Like next time we play, you'll probably get to find out. Other than that, next time we record, we'll be recording we'll record a play session. We'll also record a year back, like a year in review type session, like an out of character one, to kind of commemorate hey, we've been doing this for an actual year now, and just talk about that a little bit. We'll record them together. We'll probably record a little longer than usual, and we'll split them up.
Okay.
So we'll have an episode that releases as year in review. We'll have an episode that releases as Earth season, and then we'll start a little earlier and probably run a little later, but not like a ton. We're 15-20 minutes on each side.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. So we know what we're doing for the next several sessions. I think everything's handled, unless I would say if there's anything that either of your characters wants to purchase for the elf stuff, figure that out and let me know right when we start the next session. I know I've been aggressive on your wallets.
No, you haven't. I chose to spend all that stuff because it was important to me in the cult. So I don't have any problem at all with that. The only thing I would ever spend more on some more spirit magic, and we probably don't have time for that, and I don't know if you know what I want. So.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Just if you wanted to pick up I really want a bigger shield, or I want another axe or a second axe or more javelin, something like that, just that sort of checking type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's
Oh,
nothing there,
I
just give
forgot.
it a
I
think.
have javelins.
Yeah, see? So give that a thought, and then we will return next time with a lot of recording. But the next session that our viewers will hear will be the year in review session. Will be the year in review episode. So we will see y'all then.